Doom Eternal.
Hello world, we are
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-da-da. Good game. It's more Doom. More Doom 2016 to be exact. Yeah, when I played this, I was expecting the same thing. Like I had some ideas of how it would go down beforehand. I didn't see any streams, like any videos at all beforehand. Some games I don't really care about that stuff, some I do. With this one, it was more like I didn't really know what kind of demons to encounter and weapons and things like that, and I think the reveal of that's what they do really well here is the reveal of the new enemies and or just enemies in general. A lot of them here were, you know, more or less the same. Unfortunately. But it could be bosses, it could be stuff like that, so that's why I stayed clear away from it. Which I'm glad I did, because when I actually did start playing, you know, it was a cool little good fun time. I'm not the biggest Doom guy. I like it, but I mean, you know, it's kind of just like, yep, you go in, you kill demons, you're a dude, blood, guns, yeah. We've seen it so many other places, but obviously, sure, Doom does have its own flavor and style and formula thing that it goes with. I'm just not really into the fast pace, like, yeah, dude, oh, intense adrenaline. It's not really me. But I'll do it and, like, you know, get into it. With this kind of game, and unfortunately, you kind of, no matter who you are, you kind of have to really, like, get your heart pumping or do something, because you're gonna get to a point where you can kind of play how you want to, or, you know, how you normally would. You're just calm, you're relaxed, you're playing, you're getting into it, you're focused. You gotta have the energy to even get through half these battles. But there are gonna be those moments where it's like, dude, I'm getting my butt whooped. I gotta, like, really get in the game and get my head in and get this shit done so I can move on. And I look at all these games as, like, difficulty aside, I don't really need to include that. This is just for anyone. This is for casuals, for non-tryhards, basically. Giga Chads, you know. But yeah, just as someone who plays all kinds of stuff, all kinds of paces, a lot of variety, a lot of different genres.
we are fake.
This is something that you definitely... It is possible to kind of go out of your comfort zone. It's not an open world game. It's not fun. It's not, like, happy. It's dreadful and intense and... Obviously, this is basically Doom 2016 amped up, turned to 11, times 2, whatever. And it really does show that. That's one thing it did really well at, was kind of going that extra mile. Yeah, it was harder, it was faster, better, stronger. More weapons, more things to do. I kept you busy. Like, sure, you can chill out for a minute when you're just going from one section to another and little things throughout, but yeah, when those gauntlets hit you, you know, it's time to not fuck around. Like, you gotta be on that shit. It's more or less the same enemies, like I said, of 2016, which is kind of unfortunate. They just barely put in just enough new stuff. I mean, environments look more or less the same. The enemies are more or less the same. I don't think they really went too out of the way, but that's what they focused on. Was like, hey, it is faster. Hey, more weapons. Hey, some different bosses, slightly different looking environments. So it did what it needed to do. I'll give it that much, but yeah, they definitely didn't like they did. It's a lot of rehash, a lot of recycling all their resources, and basically half the game is about the same, half of it isn't, which, you know, okay. It's a sequel. But Doom Eternal knows how well Doom 2016 did, how well Doom's always done, and they did what they wanted to do. They were like, hey, let's make this big, you know, more extreme. That's all they did, which is fine. Yeah, for me it was a long playthrough. I kept thinking, is this over yet? Is it done? Can I can I stop playing? Can I be done with this? It took so much out of me. It just felt like it never stopped. Like, it really did feel like a repetitive hell. Like, dude, I'm so tired of like shooting guys over and over and over and things and doing this and that, and it gets old. It gets repetitive. And I think you have to have that personality where this is kind of what you're into. You love it. You're into it. You know, you're an adrenaline junkie, and you like a challenge. You like pain and suffering and doing things the hard way. And I don't know. It's not really for me. Like, I don't mind difficulty, I don't mind puzzles, I don't mind challenges, I don't mind skill, I don't mind like all those things. It's just here they try so hard to just do that. It's not even like it's hard, or like it gets the same kind of reputation as like Souls games would. Like, oh yeah, it's hard, oh my god. But really it's just I don't even think it's overcoming your weak points or rising above anything. It's more like on the surface, yes, it's hard. I'm sure there's much harder games out there. It's just the fact that these happen to be the most commonly known and more popular examples. But I mean, aside from all that, like, it is fun. Like, you do get into the groove of it. You start to learn what you're doing, the mobility, how to move around, switching weapons, what guns to use, how to deal with the enemies that are in front of you, and you know, all the mobility stuff, getting from here to there, finding secrets. It all kind of does have a nice flow to it. It's really flowy, you're constantly moving, going kind of game. And I get it, I pick up on it. Like, I don't hate it, I don't love it. I don't like it, but I don't dislike it. It's just, I don't know, it's just kind of there. The thing with Doom, it's such a specific kind of thing where they're trying to do this, like, demons in your face, blood, action, gore. You know, woo! Exciting, yeah. It's not really like that. I think it's like a spectator, like it can be fun to watch, and assuming they're not doing the same thing over and over and over. But it's funny because as much as you can get into it, you can have some drinks, you can kind of be that person, that guy or whatever. But it's funny though, because really what you're doing is sitting there like not saying anything, and you're just trying to like get through it. It's not even so much the whole time. You can't afford to like be distracted. You can't afford to be sidetracked or have things on your mind, or like, because odds are you're gonna fuck up a lot. Maybe you'll be able to make up for it, but the thing is, like, dude, you gotta freaking, you gotta go. So yeah, they say it's like this. The whole time. If anything, you get that kind of satisfaction after you clear out a room, like, yes, I did it. Let's go. Booyah, hooray. But during it's and that's what kind of takes the fun out of it too, is like, I think you're wanting to sit there and really just kind of go ham, but the problem is it requires so much out of you that you're just kind of like sitting there. I don't know. Depends on personality too. Like, are you that person that can afford to sit there and somehow still pull off doing what you need to do? And it's like, hey, you gotta have fun with it, but you gotta like take it seriously too. But yeah, the cutscenes are nice.
My soul remains guarded. You can't.
They don't really do too much cutscenes, too many. Like, they do just enough to kind of keep whatever's happening going along, but really, it's the gameplay. This is definitely one of those games that it's not really favoring cutscenes by any means. Story. It's a mindless, brainless shooter game. FPS, dude. That's it. It's nice of them to include cutscenes in, but obviously, there's a lot more to the game than that. People play Doom for the gameplay. That's about it. I think at first, like, obviously if you've had experience from 2016, it's you'll know what to do, but thankfully there is a lot more here. Like, the quality of life is better, the gameplay is better, it's much smoother. I think it's longer even. There's just more to it. It definitely makes 2016 seem pretty bare bones and pretty... Like, you notice how empty the first Doom kind of was compared to this, and... yeah, it's just action-packed. My problem with this game, just like the first one, I was hoping with this one it would have been a little bit more improved, and it's a very hot take and can be debatable and controversial, but the gunplay, I just don't like it. Granted, I was playing on a console, a controller again, just like the first one. Obviously, this was more designed and tailored for PC. Obviously, it's just how it is. Because if you're gonna play Doom for real, if you're serious about it, you're playing it on PC, period. But obviously, not everyone's gonna be able to do that. There's plenty of people that play on console, no problem. And it's definitely doable, just like any game, but man, it just makes it so much less enjoyable. That's why these games are kind of hard to, like, really figure out how to go about it, because I know that there's a better way to experience it, and it's kind of frustrating. I guess the best way to have done anything with this game, this franchise, is, play on multiple platforms. See how it really plays on PC and console, compare them. But obviously it's easier said than done, right? But
Hello world, we are fake.
yeah, other than that, it's Doom. It's fun being able to play it and participate, try it out at all, and get a feel for it. And you know, it's just more of a conversation you can have with someone and relate to them. And I play Doom too, and you know, I remember this part. Oh, this part was cool. That boss is cool. Oh, this enemy. So there's that. I think it's definitely something you gotta get in on, especially it's in capital letters. Eternal just sounds cool. You gotta really get in on this game. But yeah, another cool thing was you had a HUD or hub, like your own little base, your spaceship. So that's pretty cool, just to have like somewhere to go, like somewhere to chill out for a minute. You're not just constantly kind of going. It's always nice to have like a break or a breather, and you know, that's maybe a good time to get up for a minute or whatever. And not only that, but there's so much to do within your little base thing that, you know, that keeps you busy as well. So it just adds on to the gameplay, and it's pretty cool. A lot of customization, a lot of secrets, collectibles, unlockables. You know, the more you play, the more you put into the game, the more you get rewarded for it. So it's pretty cool. You get to really you just get to spend a lot of time with the game. You get to do a lot of different things, and really put some time into it. Like, hey, if you like Doom enough and you want to put that time into it, go ahead, go for it. For me, it was like, dude, I'll fuck around with some things here and there, and then just let me finish the game. Get out of there. It's like being stuck in a really small room the whole time. Like, not really claustrophobic per se, but more like I'm just so tired of being stuck in this game doing all this. And I think at some point you just want it to be over. But to be fair, like, yeah, I was kind of wanting to rush through it and get it done with and all that, but by the end of it, I was like, you know what, that was pretty cool. It was a fun little good journey, time, quest, adventure thing. No regrets. There was some hard parts, but it wasn't really too bad. It wasn't, like, unplayable. There were some bosses, though. There was, like, one boss in particular that just really got to me. It took me a minute to really kind of figure it out and get the hang of it and move on and get past it. It's like everything felt so easy except for that one boss. It was just a pain in the ass. Yeah, the gameplay was good. Yeah, the cutscenes, the gameplay is a nice, very well put together AAA quality Bethesda production. You know, yes, I have a lot of problems with it, but it did have good gameplay. I like that when you move around, that there's no footsteps or anything. You're just kind of like strafing along, kind of just gliding. But it wasn't too, like, there was still a weight there, but it wasn't like you're just floating either. So I think they got that down pretty well, because they know that you're just going from here to there. But God, even if I was on PC, it doesn't change the fact that, like, dude, I'm sure that would help. But I just feel like it was so easy to, these guys are so rigid, like fidgety, and the guns are so kind of stale at what they can do, and it's like I just felt like I was brazing every enemy. I was missing everything. I'd make my shots, sure, but you have to put in so much emphasis on your shots, like especially the shotgun. It's so easy to miss your target. You obviously have to be close to it. It's a shotgun. I don't know, it's fun. It's just so messy, dude. There's so many enemies. There's so much going on that it's like half the time you can't even tell what the hell is happening and going on around you, and that's kind of the point of it. The hysteria, the chaos, the destruction. But it's so like, it's not enjoyable. And granted, this game is called Doom. It's not called Happy Good Fun Times, right? It's not gonna hold your hand. It's not gonna be there for you. It's not gonna help you out. It's gonna be a bitch. And it's gonna suck and be awful and make you mad and piss you off. You're gonna be angry and rage. It's gonna drain you of whatever energy you have. It demands a lot out of you. And I think these games are fun to play once in a while, or maybe like this isn't out of my comfort zone by any means. This is my kind of game. But it is even in a certain particular way, yeah, I am going out of my way to kind of play this. It's not something I'd like go to willingly or want to. It's just the fact that, oh, I haven't played it. I want to play it. You know, that's about it. Some games are just gonna be like that, and you just gotta suck it up and forget about it and whatever, right? It's one of those games where, well, for me, you play it, you get through it, it's like, you know, it'll be worth it. You can play whatever the fuck you want after, no big deal. That's the thing, there's so much discipline. It's like I was on a treadmill the whole time. And I'm just, there's this piece of cheese hanging in front of me, and I just want the cheese, and I'm so hungry, and it's just a constant tease of like the end of the road. Like, you know, when can I be done? When am I going to get rewarded here? The big reward is to be done. I didn't even look at it like, oh, I finished that encounter, cool. Ooh, I'm so happy. It was more like, oh, that sucked. Let's just keep going. I don't know. It takes a high energy person. It takes, yeah, you know, if you play this at all, you're really brave and courageous, and it does take a certain person to kind of deal with a game like this, because it's definitely not, it's not meant to be fun. It's not meant to, it's skill based, it's challenging. It's how much stamina do you have, how much tolerance do you have to be able to get through sections of the game, let alone the whole game. So it's definitely a test of your might. Test your strength. It's like same thing of playing a racing game or a fighting game, you know. Are you good enough to beat the other person? Are you fast enough to win the race? It's definitely no comfy, cozy, chill, low energy, relaxing kind of game at all. And but the thing is, before you even pick this game up, you know what you're in for. So it's one of those things where if you start it up and you start playing and you get into it, it gets to a point where it can be too late to back out. Like you've just finished what you started. You'll feel better afterwards. Yeah. Other than that, there's just not really a lot to say about Doom. I mean, it's like this game in particular, there's not really a whole, like, there's a slightly better map. There's small improvements everywhere that you go from 2016. This is its successor. So that's just kind of the point. But other than that, yeah, it's single player FPS, PvE, mindless, brainless shooter game with demons and blood and gore and violence and cool. Yeah. And a lot of kind of the more in-depth detailed stuff I would say about this game, I've kind of already covered it in the Doom 2016 review. It's just, you know, I don't know. I feel like how Doom can be portrayed, this isn't really what I would like out of it. I think it's cartoony, it's too modern, it's too 3D. I'd probably prefer, I know the older Doom is old and all, but I'd probably prefer that. Honestly, like this reboot, remake stuff, whatever you want to call it, it just feels very loose and very not tight and not really what it originally kind of technically set out to do, although it is still very much doing that same thing, sure, but like in such a new way that it just doesn't. This is how a lot of these remakes and reboots kind of feel to me. Is just, it's always like this kind of skeptical, maybe it's okay, so meh. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really care for it, to be pretty honest, but cool game nonetheless. Is there stuff I'd rather play? Sure, just like anyone. Everyone has their own kind of go-to and their favorite stuff, and they're more biased towards certain things and themes and elements and genres, and that's the only reason why I like this. I like demons. I think it's cool. I like rock music. I like hardcore stuff. I like metal and screamo and, you know, death and all the bloodlust, and it's cool. I get it. But I play it just for that. I don't play it because I like the gameplay. I don't play it because I like the big guns and the variety of guns and the environment. I don't know. It's cool though. I don't know. It just makes you think though, like, what could Doom be? Is this kind of where it could shine the best at? Could it be better? Maybe not the old stuff, but maybe not this stuff either. Maybe something more kind of Doom 3-esque, like more scary, more... It's not just an action horror type deal, right? I wouldn't even call it an action horror, dude. It's just action shooter. But just something more like... just demonic and not so like... It's not trying too hard or not trying too hard, but like, I don't know, but this is just how games are. It's fine. I accept it. It's how it is. As time goes on, this is what games and movies and stuff feel like they have to do. Music, brighter, bigger, better. Trying to always improve and advance, but I think sometimes it could be done in kind of the wrong ways. But whatever. It's fine. But yeah, yeah, good old Doom, huh? It's pretty great. It's a pretty passive game to me. I like that it's a part of my profile, and but that's about it. I don't know, it's just weird for me because I've always wanted to like it so much more. But even with the old games, from what I've seen from these games, I just never really got into it the way that I wish I could. Like, the only one that really stands out to me, once again, is Doom 3. I like that. That was cool. Space horror. You know, these are aliens. They are demons. Kind of a mix of both, I guess. I don't even know. I don't know, just darker, scarier, grittier, grungier. You know, they have so much to work with here and so much potential, but I think they're kind of holding back, if anything. But I realize, you know, hey, they're just trying to make money. It's a business, marketing. You know, I know they really push for the games to get played and for people to want to play these, and it's very popular. A lot of people have played them. Um, you know, when both the 2016 and this came out, very big deals. You know, you got to get on it and at least try it out. But yeah, I think beyond that though, it just doesn't have enough substance. It doesn't have enough flavor. Not to mention there's such an end game and there's such a replayability factor in this one particularly, and there's like online stuff, and you know, there's DLC, and it's like, I don't know. They're trying so hard to make you just play this game, Doom Eternal, and do all these things, especially if you're a trophy hunter and all that bullshit. Like, I just don't really buy it, but it's like a bowl of cereal. Like, I just want to be full and eat and, you know, move on with whatever I need to do during the day. But yeah. Doom Eternal.